So guys, we have been saying it. Omotosho will not get away with the injustice he's doing against Nnamdi Kanu. Because how can you show up in court after 3 months only for you to come and declare that Nnamdi Kanu was not illegally renditioned to Nigeria? How can you show up to court only to come and declare that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was not extraordinary? That Nigeria did not violate any international treaties when they were renditing Nnamdi Kanu? Meanwhile, for the past 4 years, every organization that have judged Nnamdi Kanu's case has declared that Nigeria violated international laws when remitting Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. Still yet, Omotosho is adamant to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent. Don't also forget that about 2 months ago, the Kenyan High Court vindicated Nnamdi Kanu, saying that Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer, saying that Nigeria violated Nnamdi Kanu's human rights. In fact, they awarded Nnamdi Kanu 120 million naira in damages. Still yet, Omotosho appeared in court only to rule that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was not illegal, only to rule that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was not extraordinary. Meanwhile, the same appeal court in 2022 declared that Nnamdi Kanu was innocent and that no court in Nigeria has the official jurisdiction to try Nnamdi Kanu. Still yet, Omotosho carries out injustice against Nnamdi Kanu. But now, the appeal court has been urged to act against Omotosho because Omotosho's injustice against Nnamdi Kanu is now glaring to even the blind that they don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be free. Because everyone expected Nnamdi Kanu to be set free in the last court sitting, only for Omotosho to show up in court and even deny Nnamdi Kanu access to a medical facility. The injustice against Nnamdi Kanu must stop, and now the appeal court are set to act. Before showing you the full details surrounding the appeal courts, there is a video clip I want to display here for you guys to watch. I want you guys to watch this video carefully and listen to what he said. And after watching this video in details, I'll be bringing you the full updates surrounding the appeal courts because the injustice against Nnamdi Kanu by Omotosho has to stop.
Does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu own a house in Dubai? Does he own a luxury apartment in Florida? Does he own a house in Abu Dhabi? Does he own a hotel in Nigeria? Does he own acres of land in Owerri, Omahia, or Enugu? Does he own a trust fund in Zurich, Switzerland to secure the future of his children? The answer is no. Now the question is, what does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu benefit from this struggle? Absolutely nothing. Materialistic nothing. He benefits nothing from it. And most Igbo people are hating on him. Shameful. Now, what has he lost in the course of this struggle? What are the things, the collateral damage his family has encountered at the cost of this struggle? April 2005, he was arrested by the then Olusegun Obasanjo administration. Later, he was granted bail and released. 10 years later, October 2015, he was arrested again by the late Muhammadu Buhari administration. And he stayed there in solitary confinement for more than 1 year in detention. And he was later granted bail. After a while, his house was besieged. In the course, he lost a lot of people, relatives and friends. Collateral damage from that attack led to, as we heard, led to the death of his parents. Later again, 6 years later, he was arrested again in June 2021. He was not arrested, he was kidnapped in Kenya. Extraordinary rendition back to Nigeria. Since then, he has been in solitary confinement. He has lost his freedom. He lost his parents. He lost his relatives. He lost people he cared about. He lost being, for the past 5 years, he lost being a father to his children, being a husband to his wife. He lost all these things in this struggle and he benefited nothing. and you are still hating on him. Shame on you. Shame on you. What has he benefited? Do you think that they have not been offering him a lot of incentives, political position, power to betray his people? His health is failing as I'm talking to you right now. His organs, vital organs are failing. And he stood by you. He stood by you. He can take this offer and start become one of the richest man in the whole of Igbo land. Start building hotels, mansions, and this thing everywhere. Does he own a Rolls Royce? No. He stood by you. He told them, I want freedom for my people. That is the only thing I want. Can you endure what he has endured? No. Can I? No. The only thing you can do is to say thank you to Nnamdi Kanu. I have never seen a man like this in my lifetime. Even his enemies adore him. His enemies that criticize him daily adores him. Because he's one of a kind I have never seen. All these Igbos that are hating him, the only thing you can do is to say thank you for a man that sacrificed everything that you couldn't sacrifice for more than 2 decades because he wants you to be free. He wants you to be free. That is the only thing he said he wants you to be free. He wants you to be free. Nnamdi Kanu, no matter what you're passing through, from here I say thank you.
Appeal courts urged to review Justice Omotosho's ruling on Nnamdi Kanu's case over inconsistency. A human rights lawyer, Mr. Christopher Chidera, has expressed profound concern over a recent ruling by Justice Kolawole Omotosho of the Federal High Court in Abuja on Nnamdi Kanu's lingering trial. Now, before Omotosho took over this particular case, he promised not to be biased, but now he's been totally biased when it comes to Nnamdi Kanu, because how can you adjourn a case by 3 months only to show up in courts and you mess up? How can you adjourn a case by 3 months to go for vacation? How can you adjourn a case by 3 months only to show up in courts and come and dispute the fact that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was not extraordinary? How can you show up in court after 3 months and come and dispute the fact that Nnamdi Kanu's rendition was not illegal? How can you show up in court and come and say that Nigeria did not violate international laws when they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya? Nnamdi Kanu entered Kenya as a UK citizen, only for you to come and kidnap him and bring him back to Nigeria. Was that right? The UN working group has even ruled in Nnamdi Kanu's favor that Nnamdi Kanu is innocent, that Nigeria should release Nnamdi Kanu. Still yet, they keep on holding Nnamdi Kanu illegally. And Omotosho has failed to let Nnamdi Kanu go because Nnamdi Kanu has no case to answer. Instead, in the last court sitting, Omotosho told Nnamdi Kanu to his face that he has a case to answer in courts. Well, let's continue. Sahara reporters had reported on Friday that Justice Omotosho had, in a ruling on terrorism charges against Kanu, declared that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has a case to answer despite glaring inconsistencies in the prosecution's evidence. However, Chidera, in a media release, stated that the court's decision departs sharply from established legal principles, prioritizing executive interests over justice. Well, it won't be wrong if we say that Omotosho has been bribed, because he has failed to act justly in Nnamdi Kanu's case. And in fact, in case you don't know, ever since Omotosho took over Nnamdi Kanu's case, he has not given a single ruling in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. All his ruling has been in favor of the late council representing Bola Tinubu and the federal government, Awomolo. Can you see it? Not even a single ruling has gone in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. Whatever petition Nnamdi Kanu brings to the front, Omotosho will just quash it. And he keeps on listening to Awomolo, who is the late council representing Bola Tinubu and the federal government, against Nnamdi Kanu in court. This is injustice. Let's continue. The lawyer criticized Justice Omotosho for fixating solely on the charges sheets while disregarding the prosecution's evidence, which collapsed under cross-examination. This approach, she argued, defies Supreme Court precedents requiring judges to assess whether prosecution witnesses had been sufficiently discredited. Chidera also faulted the court's failure to address the prosecution's reliance on the Repeal Terrorism Prevention (Amendment Act 2013. Prosecuting under a defunct statute is not a mere technicality. It renders the entire case a legal nullity, he emphasized. Section 122 of the Evidence Act 2011 obliges courts to take judicial notice of repealed laws. Prosecuting under a defunct statute is not a mere technicality. It renders the entire case a legal nullity. This oversight calls into question the court's jurisdiction and its commitment to the rule of law. The human rights lawyer further argued that the court ruling violates Section 36 of 11 of the Nigerian Constitution, which protects against self-incrimination by ruling that Kanu has a case to answer. Despite the absence of credible evidence, the courts improperly shift the burden of proof onto the accused. Collectively, these errors reveal a disturbing pattern. The judiciary in Abuja appears more committed to sustaining a politically motivated trial than upholding justice. Courts must serve as impartial arbiters, not as instruments of executive will, he added. Chidera, however, called on the Court of Appeal to swiftly review and rectify these egregious legal errors. He also urges the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA) and National Judicial Council (NJC) to investigate recurring lapses in judicial adherence to law and due process in this case. Additionally, he calls on the international community to monitor Nigeria's ongoing violations of fair trial standards under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights (ICCPR) and the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. The ruling has sparked concerns about the integrity of Nigeria's judicial system and its commitment to upholding the rule of law. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the message regarding the appeal courts and Omotosho. And Omotosho is guilty for committing crimes against Nnamdi Kanu, and the injustice against Nnamdi Kanu has to stop. At this point, I'll let you guys tell me what you feel about this in the comment section below. Do well to like this video, share this video, and hit the subscribe button below for more trending updates.